Hey everyone, welcome to Simplilearn's YouTube channel. Today, we will learn about HR data analytics using Tableau. That is, we will go through some of the HR datasets available online. We will download one of them and we will read the rows and columns and understand what the data is talking about, and then load the same data, and if required, we will do some data cleaning, and if required, we will do some calculations using Tableau, and then we will extract some impactful insights from that particular dataset and then load all the charts onto one dashboard and create one final interactive HR data analytics dashboard using Tableau. That's it. If these are the type of videos you'd like to watch, then hit that like and subscribe buttons and the bell icon to get notified. Just for a quick info, if you want to upskill yourself, master business analytics skills, and land your dream job or grow in your career, then you must explore Simplilearn's cohort of various business analytics programs. Simplilearn offers postgraduate programs from Purdue University in collaboration with Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. Through this program, you will gain knowledge and work-ready expertise in skills like prescriptive and predictive analytics, regression, classification, and over a dozen others. That's not all, you also get the opportunity to work on multiple projects and learn from industry experts in top-tier product companies and academicians from top universities. After completing these courses, thousands of learners have transitioned into a business analytics role as a fresher or moved on to a higher paying job profile. If you are passionate about making your career in this field, then make sure to check out the link in the description box below, which will redirect you to find the business analytics program that fits your experience and areas of interest. So without further delay, over to our training. So we have opened up the popular website for all the datasets. So out of those datasets, I found this particular employee attrition dataset to be a little interesting. So you can create a Kaggle account and then download this particular data. So I have already downloaded this particular data and repeat. So I have already downloaded this particular data and we can directly get started by understanding what exactly this dataset talks about. So this particular data has about 26 columns and it has about 1470 rows, right? So this is about the data set we are having here, and let's observe each and every column with a little more clarity. First we have age of employees, and then we have attrition, which is in the form of Boolean. So what is attrition, you may ask? So attrition is something, let's say if you are present in the company, then it is known as no, and if you are leaving or if you have left the company, then it can be considered as yes. So basically, to keep it simple, attrition is something reducing, right? Let's say if your company is facing some financial issues, or if they want to cut down some cost cuttings or do some cost cuttings, then they will do something called layoffs. So that particular action can also be termed as attrition. So the particular dataset that we downloaded also talks about attrition of employees, and we can also create a dashboard based on attrition rates, right? So this particular value we have here is in the form of Boolean, right? So we have character dataset, and if we load this particular dataset onto Tableau, then this particular data type will be considered as Boolean by Tableau. So we might have to write some calculations, calculated fields in Tableau, and convert this from Boolean value to numerical value. We will do that on the line. And the next one is about the business travel, and this talks about how frequently or how rarely a particular employee travels on the purpose of business. So you can keep this, or you can also kind of turn it into a Boolean value if you want, and you may not it's based on the data set use case. If you want to create a story or if you want to create a chart based on this particular parameter, you can do that. And if you are not willing to do that, it's all right. And I think the daily rate here is about the rupees or dollars that are paid for every employee based on working per day. And this particular column talks about sales, research, that is the department. And I think this particular column talks about, if we expand this, distance from home. So how many miles or how many kilometers each and every employee is traveling from his home to reach office. And this particular uh, column is about education, which talks about 1, 2, and 3, 4. 4 being the highest number, 5 is the highest number. So let's read the data right next to it. So if we expand this, education field, life sciences. Okay, is it like bachelor's degree, post-graduation, master's or something like that? It's a little bit unclear, but again, if we come into the education field, we find a little more clarity here, whether it is coming from life sciences, other medical, right? We have multiple courses here. Marketing, I think marketing will go into sales. Yes, marketing is into sales. Technical degree again, sales. So we have multiple education fields over here, and employee count. So I think each and every employee has a value over here. So if one, it's like, let's say if I filter out the research and development department and then I count or sum all these numbers, then I think I'll get the employee count. So I think this particular column is here for a reason, and this particular employee number can be considered as employee ID number. And then we have some interesting columns here, employee environment satisfaction. So on a scale of 1 to 5 or on a scale of 1 to 10, how satisfied this particular employee is in this particular environment. Then we have a gender column. Then we have hourly rate in case we discussed a column based on day, right? So this particular column is about hourly rate or hourly charges you'll be paying your employee. We can create some good stories, or we can create some good use cases with all these columns. Then job involvement. So I think this particular column or this particular rating is given by the manager for the employee. So how involved this particular employee is into his job role. So again, job level, I think this is based on the hierarchy. Is he from a manager level, or is he from intern or a junior level? I think this describes about that. So here we have the highest level as 4, which describes as a manager. I think, yeah, that's what it is. And we have job satisfaction. This is also one of the interesting columns. So we can also create a chart based on job satisfaction from the departments. How are the employees? We can find out which particular department has the highest job satisfaction rate. So let's check the values. And marital status, single, married or divorced, right? And monthly income, monthly rate. So we have monthly income here and monthly rate. So monthly rate again is a little confusing. Monthly income is higher than monthly rate. Okay, we might go into these details. Okay, we might change a few column names here. You can check out that. And then we have number of companies worked. Wow, this is also another interesting column which talks about the number of companies the current employee has worked with. And over 18, yes, I think this particular column will by default have all the rows as yes. I think this is about the age. And then overtime, how many employees are doing overtime, percentage of salary hike. This could be another good storyboard. So what's the highest percentage of hike received by an employee, or what's the highest hike percentage based department wise? We can do that. And performance rating, relationship satisfaction, standard hours. stock option level, total working years, training, yeah, work-life balance, right? So nice. We do have a good data set over here. And if we come back to this particular columns here, then I think monthly income, and this could be confusing here, monthly income and monthly rate. Anyways, uh, is there any calculation here? Nothing. No calculation here. I think we'll go with monthly income as the salary, and we might ignore monthly rate because it is a little confusing. So why are we reading this data with such keen observation? Because once we understand the data, we can build our use cases and we can proceed with building charts and dashboards. Unless you know what kind of data you're dealing with, unless you know what kind of assets you have in your data, you cannot proceed with any of the use cases. So that's the reason we are trying to understand the data first in a very good way. Then we can proceed with the process of building charts, process of extracting insights, process of building a dashboard. So throughout this tutorial, we will be performing some parameters in Tableau, we'll performing some calculation or calculated fields in Tableau. Then we will be creating some bins. We will be, we'll try to search every major or critical corner of Tableau and then understand or at least get a brief overview or a short overview of that particular feature in Tableau. And I think this should be helpful for you to get a decent insight on what is Tableau and how exactly we're going to work with it, right? And now let's proceed with Tableau. I have already worked a few examples on this particular data set. So let's open a new Tableau session or a window. Yeah, there you go. We have a new session or a new instance of Tableau here. And now let's go back to connected data, or you can directly come to here, which is about the data source. And so since the data that we downloaded is in the form of Excel, we will choose the option of Microsoft Excel here. And previously we did not find it because it was looking for workbooks. So instead of workbooks, if we select all files, then we can get the HR dataset over here. So basically we will be working on CSV type of files. So unless your dataset is saved in the form of workbook, you cannot do that. So if you go back to your Excel and go to Excel, save options and save it as a workbook, you can find it, but it's not a trouble. You can just change from Excel workbooks to all files and you'll find your dataset. Now I think it might take a while to load an error occurred. So communicating with Excel, connect to the data source. Okay, I think it is about the illegal file format, which is in the CSV format. I think it's not taking or identifying it in the form of CSV. So if we take or save it in the form of workbook, which I've done here, I think it should be beneficial for us. Yep, there you go. It directly extracted the data in the form of workbook. And here on the left side, if you can see, let me expand it a little. So here we have all the fields, the column names which we had initially. These are the column names, and these are the, if I close this, we have the data which is about the columns and rows we have, which we went through, right? So these are the columns and rows. And since we are working with one particular or one single data set, we don't have to work much on the joins and union options. Let's say if you are working with two different tables related to one single organization, which are connected based on one primary key, like the employee ID or something like that, then you might have to perform some joins or unions operations which are present directly over here. And that could be another tutorial for another day. For now, let's continue with the HR dataset that we have today, right? So we can just directly go on to the worksheet, and we have the dimensions and measures. So whichever value you're finding over here in blue color, or which is in the text format, which that will be considered as dimension. And here employee number, in fact it is numerical value. It is still considering it as a dimension since it is unique. So it was in text format, I believe, in Excel, so it is considering it as a measure, dimension. And the number whichever you have, which is a numerical value which describes a certain measure, then that could be considered as a measure. And apart from this, you might find another set of inputs here, which can be either a parameter or a calculated field. So there is a difference between a measure and a calculated measure. So if the hashtag over here, I don't know if you can see this, a little green color hash, if it starts with equals to and hash, then it means that it's a calculated field, right? And apart from that, you have the filters over here, and you have the color, size, text, detail, tooltips. And once if you start dragging your data, that is measures and dimensions, you can also find text labels, which is present over here. And if you want to tilt your, let's say if you want to reorganize your columns and rows, you can just click on the swap icon. And if you want to organize your columns, or the row charts or column charts, whichever you find in ascending or descending order, you can use these to do that. And you can directly go into the slide show or presentation mode with this icon. And this particular one is based on the view. Currently it is on the standard view. Let's say your chart is really small and you want to expand, or if you want to fit that your entire screen, or let's say this particular view area, then you can click on that entire view. And apart from that, and yeah, I forgot to mention, show me. If you drag this particular icon, if you click on this particular option, you have a wide variety of charts. So Tableau will give you its own choice, or it decides which particular chart could be more better, visually appealing. And it will decide, and it will give you the type of chart which matches with the data. And in case if you want to change your perspective, or if you want to change your view, then you can select the type of chart which you feel is more appealing, and you can change the type of charts from here. So that said, let's start with the data analysis or data insights. Now starting with department. Okay, now let's find out how many number of departments we have and what is the employee count, how many number of employees we have in our organization. So we have found we have 3 different departments, which is HR, research and development, and sales. Now let's find out the total number of employees. So we had something called employee count in our data set. So let's try to drag that employee count to this particular, and we have the department, which is research and development, which has highest number of employees, and sales is about 446, and HR with 63. We can click on this label icon, which will give us marks. Right now it has the count, and if you click on colors, and you can drop this particular thing on colors, and it will change colors. Let's see, we can choose different colors based on department. Type of chart you want is this. Yes, now we have different colors for different departments. You can now designate this particular sheet as, when we are trying to build a dashboard, we might have to drag all the sheets onto the dashboard, right? And it's better when you have an understanding of what sheet are you going to drag onto the dashboard. So employee count. Let's create another story which talks about graduation levels or education level of the employees. We will track education to columns. So these are the degrees, these are the education levels of employees, and you can again drag the employee count over here, and you can drag education to colors, and we have different, and you can reorganize in terms of the highest is in bachelor degree. You can entire view, there you go. And if we drag department, let's see what happens if we drag department. So here we have department wise degrees, right? So in HR department, the number of people, okay, let's try to label it. So we have 27 people from HR department with a bachelor's degree, and 379 people from R&D with a bachelor's degree, and 166 people from sales department having bachelor's degree, right? Impressive. Now let's see, we will go with gender. So how many females and how many males are in every department? We can do that. So take department, and we will count. If we drop gender onto color, we will have two different colors for two different genders. And in case if you want to change this particular type of chart into this pie chart, you can do that. And entire view, just keep it as it is. You can also do that. And if you want to change this particular one into a pie chart, that can be done. You can also click on labels, and if you want to change some if you want to modify or change the color or do some modification to this particular angles, you can do that by clicking on this, and you can change colors or do some detailing onto it, right? And education gender. Now remember, we had some decent columns to select with, that is performance and performance rating, job satisfaction, and a few other details, right? Job involvement. Let's try to build that based on department. Now since we have three different departments, let's go with HR department, sales department. Now the HR department, sales department, and research and development. So let's keep it as R and D department. Right. Now we have three different canvas. Now we will perform some good insights. So we want department here. So yeah, department in rows. Let's try to put another department filters. Let's try department to filters, and we will want only HR since we are working on HR. Okay, so let's say distance from home. Okay, employee count. Let's let the Tableau build the charts the way it is building. We will at last modify it in the way we want. Let's go with the table chart, right? So the total number of employees present in the HR department, we will keep it we will keep it as a default for all three departments. First the number of employees, then another parameter, then another parameter, right? So first we have added the number of employees, then job satisfaction, right? Then okay, let's monthly income, then percentage of salary hike, performance rating, work-life balance, standard working hours. I think that's good enough. Now we can go to show me and change this to Tableau type. Alright, and you can also change this to entire view. So what we can do is we can add this onto our dashboard. So we can have one HR department, another next department, three particular departments over here, right? Which shows about, it's like an overview of how many number of employees you have, job satisfaction. And now let's also try to calculate the attrition, right? We have the attrition over here. We can do one thing. What we can do is we can remember I said we will perform some Tableau calculations, right? So we will try to convert this particular text or Boolean type of value into numerical value, and we can try to calculate the attrition rate, right? So let's try to calculate that. You have to look for format over here. You need a calculated field, right? Create a calculated field. Let's do this as attrition value or attrition count. Right? I'll keep it as attrition value. So it's a simple if function. If attrition is your call to yes, then if one, else keep it as 0 and end it. I'm pressing tab to select the function. So Tableau has verified the code and it's saying the calculation is valid. Press OK. And I think you will be able to find a new calculated field which says equals to hashtag attrition value. Alright. So this means equals to hashtag is a calculated field. Now we have it. And we have to find out the attrition rate. Now, attrition rate is simple. Create a calculated field, name it as attrition rate. So sum of attrition value that we just calculated divided by sum of employee count. Yes, that should give us the attrition rate, and we can format it and change it. Yeah, that is the attrition rate, right? Now we have the attrition rate over here. If we go into format, we have it as in the form of numbers. Let's give it as percentage, and let's also keep let's keep it in 2 decimal places. Let's say we have 98%, or not, let's fingers crossed no company should have 98% attrition rate. Let's say it's about 5% or 5.08, 5.59, something like that. So let's keep 2 decimal places in there. I think it's done. Now we have, let's go back to fields. Let's close this particular format. Now we have, let's close this HR department and measurements. So it's taking all the measures. So here we have, I think we don't need business travel, right? Let's remove this. You can just drag and it's gone. So we have attrition rate, employee count, job satisfaction, monthly income, percentage salary hike, performance rating, and standard working hours. So remember the values, or let's say, yeah, remember these values. So we will be creating this particular dashboard for all three departments. So first we will be having a department. So first we will be having attrition rate, employee count, job satisfaction. Okay, we'll refer to it, not a problem. Right now we are in the sales department, right? Now we are in the sales department. So we will get the department again, two rows, department and filters, and this time we will have sales. This is small info. You can also keep it in the form of, you can apply this to all worksheets, uh, right, all related worksheets. So if I go into R&D again, I think we will have, let's look around it once again. Now for now we will have the sales department. So we will get the list, and then we have employee count, the employees in particular department, job satisfaction, income, percentage of salary hike, its rating, standard working hours. There you go. You can use show me, change it into a tabular format, change the view from standard to entire, right? And we'll have our last department, which is printing. There you go. So same applies here. Go to department, add it into filters, go to department, add it to rows, and in here change it from sales to R&D. Remember we selected that to entire sheet, right? So whenever you add the department filter, it will by default go to sales. But again, you can change it from the options over here. And we will start with attrition rate, similar to the previous one, employee count, job satisfaction, income, percentage, salary hike, performance rating, and standard working hours. We missed standard working hours. Let's check the order. Monthly income, percentage, salary hike. There you go. You can change the standard view from entire view to entire view. There you go, done. Right. So far we have the attrition rates calculated here, and now let's say we try to create some bins, right? You can try to create some bins based on gender, based on department. Okay, we have already created a lot of department and we already have gender. We can create some bins based on age, right? Age-wise bins. I think if we go back to the data, we already have age bands, right? So we have 5 different age bands. But again, if you want to create a bin specifically, you can also do that. Just for the how to do it purpose. Let's say you wanted to know how to create bins. We already have that bin pre-recorded in the data. But again, if you want to do that, let's try it. Let's go to age, create. You have calculated fields, groups, bins. So all are one and the same. So let's go with bins over here, and let's name it as age bin, and instead of a decimal value, let's keep it as a whole number, and click OK. Before that, you need to create a parameter over here, and minimum will be the step count too, right? Once I create the chart, you will understand what I was talking about, the step counts. I think everything is fine. Let's press OK. Okay, and there you go. And now if you drag the age bins onto the columns and count. You should get how many employees are in what bin, right? So now if you click on the parameter over here, you can see a new parameter just got created. You can rename it, rename it as age parameter. Done. And if you click on this, there you go. Remember we created the step count. If you increase the step count to 4, then the age starts from 16 to 20, 20 to 24, 24 to 28, right? So these are the things you want to keep in mind. And if you label these, then click count. And you do this based on your department, right? We already have the number of employee counts over here, right? Employee count, number of employees working in a certain department, and right. And if you try to drag the age bin into color, you will have different color for different age bins. And if you try to sort it, you can also do that. So the age group of 28 to 32 have the highest number of employees, right? So that's how we do it. And we barely have employees with higher age at 60, and from 16 to 20 maybe they are here for internship, something like that, right? So far so good. Now we can get started with a dashboard, right? Right now we have, remember we were naming our every chart, right? When you're dragging some chart into the dashboard, you need to know what exactly you're dragging. So you can directly drag all your charts onto this dashboard and finish it, or if you want to make it look a little more interesting, you can also add some image into the background. I want to add an image, so insert an image file, fit image, center image, and choose the particular image from your download section. I think this is good. Okay, there you go. You can change, I can see this particular, visual is a little small. You can't fit all the charts into this and it's not clearly visible. And of course, if you click on the slideshow, this will become bigger. But again, that's not the way, right? So let's try to change this to maximum. Let's change the pixel density over here. Let's check the screen size and then add the input over here so that it fits properly. Just a minute. So let's try to increase this or customize this. 720p. Let's try to increase a little more. Our motto is to make it fit within the canvas. So yeah, let's increase the width. I think this should be fine. Or we can also eliminate this particular image altogether if it's blocking the view so much, right? Remove image from dashboard. So we can make some good modifications to the existing dashboard, right? And then we can try to add them over here. Now we have employee count. Okay, that got added to all the worksheets. Let's select all here or edit filter. I want all. It will affect all the. Let me delete this particular clear shelf. So I'll have one particular department here and I will have chart. Not to worry, anyways we are dragging this, right? So I think each and every this is the ultimate thing what we wanted to have. So I think we need to make a little modification to the attrition rate over here. Format and change this from numbers to percentage and R&D the same. Right, I think in one place we can have also, if I drag one dashboard to the, if I drag one chart to the dashboard, I think we can have all three departments in one go, right? So one thing is that we understood how to use filters and how to add those filters to all existing, sheets. Let's get started with dashboard. Now we can try to edit this in a little bit. We can make it look bolder, and instead of Tableau light, okay, I think Tableau light is good enough. Department wise, and make it look bold. And again, these you can edit a little. Okay, we can just do it automatically, right? We have to reduce or set some size to it, so I'm trying for that. Second chart, and I think resize it a little. Gender wise, we have the gender wise employee numbers here, and we have the data related to attrition rate, employee count, job satisfaction in one go. And if we add age wise, then we have age wise employees, and we can go through education details of all the employees department wise. And we have the first one, employee count. You can also drag the employee count. Yeah, so far so good. The details what we wanted are all on one dashboard. So we wanted the employee count based on gender, and we have that. And if we wanted to understand the details of all employees about their attrition rates, about their employee count, the total number of employees working in the entire department, and their monthly income, and percentage of salary hike, and performance rating, standard working hours, right? So here you can see there is a whole number 930, right? Instead of this, you can make some modifications to the data set, right? You can do that. If you could just go to the percentage salary hike and go to, there should be some thing. Okay, we have it over here, right? So if we go to percentage of salary hike and go to the measure, then it should be average. And again, if you go into the format, here it is again numbers, and if you change it to percentage and 2 decimals, and then you have some percentage over here. Some minor changes, I think it should be 14.76 and 15.16 and 15.16, right? So there is some modification that you need to do here, and I think you'll get the final number over here. So if you could see, if you refresh it, you will have the latest data over here. So if you are working in a company which is giving you a standard 10 to 15%, then I think you are lucky. So it's the decent number which is going on in all the, overall all the organizations. And here you have another dashboard which explains about the education levels of each and every employee, the bachelor, the number of employees in each department with a bachelor's degree, right? You have the details over here. And even here you have a drop down option. If you click on this particular age group, keep only, you can find out that these are the details. These details will be highlighted. And if you go for a bachelor's degree, you have that particular thing highlighted over here. And this is how you build an interactive dashboard in real time. And with that, we have come to the end of this session on HR data analytics using Tableau. And if you have any queries regarding any of the topics covered in this session, or if you require the resources that we used in the session, like the data set or the Tableau dashboard, the entire dashboard, or any other resource that we used in the session, or if you have any queries, please do let us know in the comment section below, and our team of experts will be happy to help you as soon as possible. Until next time, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more from Simplilearn.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.